palsy is a type of disability that affects the body movement and the balancing of human body. Welcome to another episode of the program Disability Voice on Advent Cable Network Nigeria. I am Favor Ajara, your beautiful host. Disability Voice program is created basically to educate the general public and religious centers that persons with disabilities can be loved, can be enabled, can be empowered, can be educated because disability is not a stigma. It is also to advocate for the interests and the rights of persons with disabilities. Viewers, today we'll be looking at the topic Cerebral Palsy Survivor. Viewers, to handle this topic with me in the studio is Ms. Bisira Balogu. Ms. Bisira Balogu is a graduate of Guidance and Counseling from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria. You're welcome, Ms. Bisira.
Thank you.
Let me not forget to mention that she's also an entrepreneur and also she's a cerebral palsy survivor. So she's here to tell us her life experience. Going through the journey of cerebral palsy as a disability is not an easy journey. So you're welcome. Hope you are ready to tell us so that we can learn more about cerebral palsy.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
So good to have you today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So please, can you tell us disability, the cerebral palsy, how your journey to cerebral palsy started and how you were able to overcome it?
How it started? It started as soon as I was born, but the thing is, you hardly realize that this child has cerebral palsy until you start to realize late milestones. So my parents realized that I might be having an issue when I couldn't walk, and I didn't walk till I was 6 years old. So they had to take me back to the hospital, but the diagnosis of cerebral palsy didn't come till I was much older. I think I was about 18 before the diagnosis came, because as at that time they didn't have much awareness about the disease. But growing up, I noticed that I couldn't walk. I went to school, yes, but I couldn't walk well. I was always falling down. I couldn't see and I couldn't write. So I think that was what hit me and made me know that, yes, I had an issue.
Wow. So that means it's from birth?
Yes.
And it was
not
recognized at the early stage?
No, the diagnosis wasn't given.
So this must be a challenging situation, and when you give birth to a child, the child couldn't walk even when he's 6 years.
Yes.
So now that brings me to this question. How are you able to cope through the challenges? How are you able to cope through nursery, primary school, and now you're a graduate, we're in the labor market?
Yeah, exactly. First of all, I thank God. But the thing is, I am lucky because my mom is a teacher. Now she's retired. So she took me to a private school. But before then, she dropped me in this daycare. Yes, I was a big girl. I wasn't supposed to be in a daycare, but because of the fact that I was crawling, she had to take me to the daycare first. And when she realized that, okay, maybe I was old enough to try school, she took me to school and she told the principal that, please just allow this girl cope with school and manage everything. So what she did was she used to go back to the school to help me write. She copied my notes for me and then she would go back home and teach me again. So she did that for me till I was able to at least start writing myself. Before I was able to write, my school did oral exams for me.
So that must be a very long journey.
It was a long journey, really long. It was a long journey.
For the patience of our parents.
Yes.
The patients are always there too.
Yes, she was really patient. Yeah.
Okay, so I still want to go further. Through the process of your mom putting you into a daycare just to make sure you're able to write or you're able to cope up.
Yeah, just
any process of discrimination and.
Yeah, I will say there was, because I remember I used to tell her, oh, I'm no more going back because I don't like the way people look at me. I don't like the way people, when they see me, they try to walk like I'm walking. And then my mom used to tell me something that inspired me, even though it was difficult for me to understand at that point. She would look at me and she would say, Basira, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'll say, they'll push me and I'll fall. She'll say, if they push you, push them back. And then I'll go to school the next day angry, but then I'll try to do better than I did the first day. And I continued and continued and continued. And she did this to an extent that the owner of the daycare had a child like me. But she was too shy to bring a child out. So when she saw that my mom brought me and I was crawling and just finding my way, she said, I will bring my child out too. I've been shy. My mom said, bring her out. She will go. And she did. So
That's
that was,
that's a method of it's also a creation of awareness that the
yes,
children can also participate and
yes,
become who they want to be.
yes. She encouraged that woman to do the same thing. And yeah,
That's good. That's good. Okay, now let's come to your higher institution. Let's leave the kindergarten stage now.
yeah.
Your higher institution. How are you able to cope up the university life?
Well,
I understand that you are from Lagos and you schooled in the north, and with disability. How are you able to cope? How are you able to manage all the stress and the discrimination and the school? You know how it is. So can you share?
well, it's not easy to be different. I think knowing that you're different, accepting the fact that you're different kind of helps you. You don't expect everything to go the way every other person. You just accept that this is me and this is my pace. That one, my mother had helped me realize growing up that you're different and things are going to go a bit differently from the way other people are. Then the issue of people is that there's this stigma that happens when they start looking at you. They know you are challenged, yes. But the way they stare at you, like, really? And just their eyes have a lot of,
As if
as
you don't
in,
have anything to offer
as
or you don't
in,
have anything to give to
yes,
the
they
world.
just keep staring at you. One thing I did was that when I get into my class and I see everybody just, okay, she's a new girl in class. I just tell myself that, okay, I'm fine, and I'm going to be the best. Even though I don't know what I'm doing, I just tell myself, Basira, you're going to be the best. You're going to be the best in the class. And then, fortunately for me, I started school and it was something I understood very well. I studied guidance and counseling, something I grew to love. And then I started topping my class.
Whoa.
Topping my class kind of brought, okay, I think this girl knows what she's doing. And let's move close to her. And I became, okay. It kind of gave me that recognition in school. I was able to move with almost everybody. They say, Bashira, I don't understand this course. Like, don't worry, I'll teach you. So it
Exactly.
became,
Confidence
it
too.
became, it boosted my confidence and it helped them accept me better. So people that were not in my class, I still went through that stigma, but the fact that my classmates helped me more, they tried to move close to me better, kind of gave me that confidence that even if people that are not in my class looked at me somehow, my classmates would be the one, she's fine and nothing is wrong with her. So
That means your classmate they understood
they
it better
on
that
that,
there is
yes.
ability in
Yes,
disability.
that was what I was able to show, thanks to God. That was what I was able to show later.
Wow.
Although it didn't come easy, but it happened.
It happens. We all experience it. It's
Yes.
just that we pray every day that everybody should understand the word ability and
And
disability.
disability,
Then with that
yes,
we'll be
yes,
able to assess every other thing and
yes.
the world will be an inclusive place. This is actually an interesting story and
Yes.
it's very inspiring. So now, but I still want to ask your siblings, your mom, you've talked about your mom.
Mm.
Yes, your mom is a mom indeed. For her to, I have a child. Every child is a blessing, no matter the disability, no matter what comes up. A child is a
It's a
blessing from
blessing.
God. Now,
Yeah.
can you tell us your other siblings? How are they able to cope with you?
I am the last born, and I think I'm
Okay.
blessed because of that. Because me being the last born, it's almost like, okay, this girl is someone that we have to make sure she has the best. We have to take care of her. So my elder ones found it very easy. They saw it as a responsibility to take care of me. So even though I'm working and then I fall, my brother is always there. Sometimes he'll tell me, "Don't worry, I'll catch you." He even always told me that, don't worry, I'll catch you. He was just, and the thing is, we're not so far. It's almost like 3 years between us. But then he had that confidence, don't worry, I'll catch you. So my mom kind of did that. She kind of told them that just accept. I don't know how she instilled it in them because I was younger, but I grew up seeing them always there. There was just In fact, the days when I couldn't write, oh, I was writing later, but then I was still slow. So sometimes I'll just bring the notes back home and see you help me copy this note. And they will help me copy it.
Wow.
So it was
That's
there.
interesting. That was interesting. So now I still want to ask. I was checking through your page and I saw that you are also an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
How are you able to cope with that? Disability, business?
Okay.
Let's talk about your business.
Okay.
How are you able to do all that together? And
Actually, the business came as a result of the challenge. So
wow.
it became easier because I didn't just wake up and say, God, I want to do business. I had always told myself, okay, I'll graduate from school, get a job. That was the regular. But then this business came. And how did the business come? I had this disability from childhood, but then as I grew, I developed arthritis and I was just 12. I was 12 years old when my doctor told me, you have osteoarthritis. I was like, what's that? The only thing I know is I have pain. I can't walk. I was walking already at 6. And by the time I was 19, I had to go back to crawling because of arthritis. So my own was that I just want to stand up and walk. Even if I'm not walking straight, I just want to walk. And the doctor said, you have arthritis and it's bad. Placed me on drugs. And the problem came when my body started reacting to those drugs. And then I'll go back, they change it, go back, change it, more reactions to the extent that I had an ulcer of the stomach, ulcer of the throat. I had hormonal imbalance. At some point, I told my mother I'm no more using drugs. When I told her that, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just told her I'm done. I'm done with drugs. I just knew. I said there must be a natural way of treating this thing. I just want to get over the pain. That was when I started researching natural ways of treating. The doctor said I had arthritis, osteoarthritis, my bones are rubbing on each other. What are the natural ways of treating that? So I started researching and researching and researching. And then in 2019, I said, okay, mommy, I've done this. Please take it to your office and let's just give them and tell them, ask them if it works because I was using it and it was working for me. But I was like, maybe it's my brain. It can't be that. Maybe it's me that is thinking this is working. Take it to other people. And they came back with really positive reviews. And I was like, okay, I think I have found something. And then that was how I started improving. And then when I gave people, other people came. And when my own, like, not really family members, but maybe my classmates that saw me suffer, they were like, okay, is this what you're using? Let me buy it for my mother. And that's how I started growing and growing and growing. And that's how I started natural arthritis management. And that's what I do today.
Wow, this is really, really interesting. This is really, really interesting. So, our next questions, I still have more questions because I really want to learn and also know more about what you do. And we want to know what really inspires you to do what you do. But before we go into that, viewers will go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the discussion. Don't go anywhere.
Now streaming, now analyzing, now assessing, now discussing, now sharing your thoughts on everything and every issue that affects you. ACNN is now streaming, discusses the issues trending and the matters that matter to us all. Join us every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. on ACNN as we go in depth into every issue that impacts our lives, our communities, and our country.
Viewers, welcome back. This is the Disability Voice program, and today we are looking at the topic Cerebral Palsy, a life experience. And still with me in the studio is Miss Basira Balogun. Just like as I introduced her before, Miss Basira Balogun is a graduate of ABU Zaria from Guidance and Counseling Department, and she's also an entrepreneur, a businesswoman,
Yeah.
and welcome
Thank
once
you.
again.
Thank you.
Before we went on break, we were actually enjoying the conversation, but we must go on the break and then. So now, please, with all your experience, you've gone through life experience, the challenges, you refuse to give up, even when the disability is there. Now, please, can you tell us what really inspires you to do what you are doing?
What really pushes me is the fact that other people come and tell me, Basira, thank you. You've given me a chance to use my legs again. People that are not disabled, but then they have arthritis, osteoarthritis, that some people will tell you, I never knew this could be so painful. And when I tell them, don't worry. And then they come back and tell me, thank you. That is so inspiring. I look at myself and I say, really? Okay, fine. I might not be able to walk like these people, but I have an impact in these people's lives. And the most amazing part is when you see an aged person praying for you.
That is a great lesson.
Oh my God.
It's a great
I'm
lesson.
always inspired.
Wow, this is really, really interesting. Now, looking at your journey so far and your experience with other people, what advice would you give to persons with disabilities out there? Let's come to persons with disabilities now, because we have so many out there that feel because of my disability, I can't do this, I can't do that. So what would you advise them as they are watching out there?
I would tell them that, okay, in as much as you might think it's a difficult task, yes, it's a difficult task. I'm not going to tell you it's not difficult. It's a difficult task, but there's one thing you must always realize is that life itself is not easy. And even if you were not challenged, you will still have other challenges that will face you. So take this as your first challenge and rise up.
Okay, so disabilities, they actually differ.
Yeah.
The cerebral palsy,
Yeah.
me, I'm also a person with disability.
Yeah.
But my own disability is different from yours.
Yes.
A cerebral palsy, someone who has a cerebral palsy is far, far different from mine. The blind person is different from mine. The deaf is different from mine. Now, a person that has cerebral palsy who is experiencing such disability, what will you advise them?
Now, for cerebral palsy particularly, I would like to say that, first of all, cerebral palsy is in stages. So, cerebral palsy is in stages. So, it is difficult when someone sees me with CP and says, okay, this is this. It depends on what the one you are having. Some are worse than this. Some are worse than this. It depends on the part of your brain that is affected.
Yes.
Some can't talk. Some can't walk.
And the balancing of the
Yes, it differs. It differs.
Yeah.
But one thing I would like to tell the parents at first is that it can get better no matter how bad it is. It can get better. Now you need to find out your own better. How better can it get? Go for therapies, use your medications. Tell this child there are two levels of inspiration. Inspire the child. Inspire yourself, because it's not easy to give birth to a child. You've given birth to this child. Inspire yourself to carry on. Inspire yourself to support the child. Yes, is one thing. No matter what, don't forget it will get better. Don't forget it will get better no matter how worse. Now, the first stage, tell yourself, yes, this is it. Accept it. And then tell the child, this is you, and you're going to face the world. So you have to develop something which I call coping mechanisms. Find your coping mechanisms. It doesn't have to look like every other person's mechanism. It is your mechanism. Find it and derive joy in every little step. Celebrate your steps. These are your steps.
Find your techniques, your living mechanism, your coping. I've learned a new word today. Your coping mechanisms. And celebrate your success. Is a word from our guest, Basira Balogu. It's really nice to have you today. And disability is actually a thing that most people see that it's not a thing to cope with, or it's not a thing, but you just have to accept it when it happens to you. It can happen to anybody. We don't pray for it, but it can happen to anybody. So it's something that you just find your coping mechanism, just as our guests have said, and life goes on. You find your strength, you look for how you're able to cope with yourself, what you can do, what you cannot do. So at least with that, you're able to cope with whatsoever thing that comes across your way. Thank you so much. I think one more question to you before we wrap up this section. The society at large, seeing persons with disability out there, it looks like we are ghosts or we are aliens from another world. What advice will you have to the general public out there?
We should let's start from the scratch. The society starts from the family, children. At first, you that you have a child that is not, doesn't have any challenge, tell this child from the beginning that there are going to be other people that you will see that will be exactly the same as you are. So when you see these people, try to smile, try to encourage them. From the scratch, let children know. So when they see someone that is different, they won't go back and say, Mommy, she's so person cannot see. You remove that from the child from the very beginning. Now, this is the children. Those of us that grew up and don't have that, what I want to say is that we are changing the narrative. And the fact is, most challenged people are very, very good. So give us a chance to show ourselves. Don't judge us before we are judged.
Thank you so much. Something I've come to realize is if you have any disability, there is a way God created us that particular disability, the strength of that is all over, is in something in you, whereby you are able to use to project other things. It's God, and He remains God forever. It's still Basira Balogu with me in the studio, and so nice to have you today, and it's so inspiring for you to share your story for us to hear. It's just that the time is so short, and don't worry, we'll still have more of you from time to time. Thank you for honoring our invitation to come and share your stories, and we hope to see you again some other time. Thank you so much for coming. Viewers, time is against us, and this is where we draw the curtain of today's episode's Disability Voice. But before we go, remember, disability is everyone's business, and also leave no one behind. Till we come your way again next time, same station, stay blessed. I remain Favor Ajara. Bye for now.